Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm a nuanced baguette with nuanced opinions and that's what I share here on my channel. I'm also focusing on being critical of new makeup releases and being critical of the makeup collection that I own. So I spend a lot of time using it, loving it, seeing if there are things that I can get rid of from my collection so my collection can be whittled down to a collection that I love truly and dearly. So I'm sure if you clicked on the title of this video, you know what we're going to talk about today. And so before I get started, this is when I really didn't do a lot of research for this video. So I'm going to be spitting out ideas of what I think, right? So this is just more of a rant than it is a rant, more of like a rant and opinion. And it should not be taken as like 100% facts. These are just my feelings that I have on this topic. I want to talk about subscription makeup boxes and skincare boxes and what I think of them. And if you are someone who gets subscription makeup boxes and skincare boxes and you love them, that's amazing. And that's what matters most. But I'm just going to talk about my opinion on them. And it is not a personal attack on you if you love them. I would love to hear why you love getting them. So I want to think about pros and cons and when I think a makeup box subscription is appropriate and when I feel like they are not. So first things first. I know there are a lot of channels that unbox these types of subscription services, that's their whole channel, and that's fine too. I'm just throwing out some food for thought. Just food for thought. You pay typically a low subscription price. There's Ipsy, there's BoxyCharm, so sometimes you're getting deluxe size samples, sometimes you're getting a full size product, depending on what price range you are falling into. Every month, they're sending you 5 to 6. That seems to be the normal amount of goods that they send you. And you get to try a bunch of things. So getting to experience and touch and feel a bunch of different makeup products is a very good thing. And especially when you're giving a deluxe size sample, if you're inclined to use deluxe size samples, you'll probably get a lot out of Ipsy or something. But speaking from my personal opinion, most of the time a deluxe size sample, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to try it. And then I never do. It just sits somewhere and I never get around to it because I'm going to keep grabbing for the things that I always grab for, as opposed to being like, let me try this deluxe size sample to see if I like this product. So that's why I never tried Ipsy, and I never tried BoxyCharm either, because when it was more expensive, not that it is the most expensive, but it's more expensive. And BoxyCharm, you get the full size products, which is that's amazing, right? Getting a full size product at a discounted rate. That sounds really amazing. And I do think that makeup subscription boxes like Ipsy and BoxyCharm, if you are just starting out with makeup, if you are fresh, you are just getting into it, it's a new passion for you, you want to get your hands on as many things as you can to try, then I think BoxyCharm and Ipsy and these subscription services are a pretty good place to start. However, on the flip side of that, I do think that these BoxyCharm boxes kind of subconsciously or maybe very consciously kind of promote having a large collection and encourage people to desire to have a large collection, and oh, you can do this in a very inexpensive way by doing a subscription service. And as someone who over time has built a very large collection, not through these services, I can tell you now on the other side of things, because I always wanted more and more and more. I was very in that mindset. I wanted more and more and more. As someone who's kind of worked through the psychological process and breaking that down to me, I have so much, if I do not need to spend another single penny on eyeshadow, because I will never in my lifetime, however many more years I'm given on this planet, will work through all of those eyeshadows. I will never. It will never happen. I might hit pan on a few, but I will never be able to work through my entire collection in my lifetime of eyeshadow. I have foundations that are definitely I have so much of my product is past the expiration date. And I say that in air quotes because, a lot of people, there's debate about that on how long powders work. And that's I'm gonna like trust you and what your comfortability level is for that. But I'm just saying, like, in theory, I shouldn't be like housing so much expired product, because I have foundations that are 2 years old. I have other cream based products that are like much longer than the 12 to 24 months that they might be still good for. So I'm just saying, like, when you're getting 5 to 6 items a month, what are you doing with it? And I'm not saying, I'm sure a lot of people donate their product. I'm sure a lot of people, they use them for giveaways. So in this surplus where you're getting 5 to 6 to 7 items, and some people do, I know there are like levels of BoxyCharm too, which I don't really quite understand. I hear the words premium and luxe, and they're two different things, and I really don't understand the difference. You don't need to explain them in the comments, because I'm never going to subscribe, nor do I feel like I'm ever going to talk about subscription boxes on my channel again. But my thought process in, like, so then you have 5 to 7 items that sometimes it seems you get to choose, sometimes you don't. And I have seen recently a lot of people who are getting these subscription boxes, you're getting a lot of skincare and not makeup. And people are disappointed in that. So sometimes you're not even getting what you want out of it. And I understand there's like something exciting about getting stuff that you wouldn't normally purchase to try at a discount in this like bundled price. But I can say, just personally from watching these videos, is that sometimes it's like you get like a brand that you've never heard of before, and you've never seen it at Sephora or Ulta or, at the drugstore even. You've never like seen this brand before. And then they tell you that item is worth like $100 some. Now, that's the thing that really gets me, is that, because it's like, if there was something that was like so ridiculously priced, the beauty community would already have been talking about it. So where did this come from? Like, where did this item come from? Like, I just don't understand where these items come from sometimes. But sometimes you get like a Natasha Denona palette, like a mini Natasha, and that's like cool too. Like, so I see the good things, but the cons to me, as a viewer, as someone who watches people unbox subscriptions, it's like much larger than the list of pros. And because I have gratis that I received that just like sits in my house, and I knew I was never going to touch it. And essentially anyone who wears makeup who comes to visit me at my house, I like pull out my box of stuff that I do not want. I'm just like, whatever you want, take. And they always look at me with wide eyes, like, whatever I want. I'm like, you could take all of it and I would not care. And again, I'm hoping that those people are picking up things that they can use. I have a lot of drag performer friends, so that works out in my favor sometimes, because I'm just like, I didn't like this, but I think it'd be great for stage. You know what I mean? So they're going to get used out of it. And, famously, drag queens wear a lot more makeup than I do. So love that it's getting used somewhere else. Just having a surplus of things like now is like something that like causes me a slight bit of anxiety. Like I get a little bit like, oh, I don't know how I feel about like that. That makes me feel like a little bit weird. It makes me feel like a little bit uncomfortable that I have such a surplus. So these boxes are like essentially promoting having a surplus, where they're like, isn't it great? But if I spent $35 on a box and I got only one item that I was maybe even remotely interested in, I'd be disappointed. And that's the thing. I'm also not a gambler. Like, I do not gamble my money. It's not something that I like to do. So to me, BoxyCharm feels like, or like all these subscription boxes feel like a gamble that I'm going to lose every time. Because I really only want brands that I've heard of, or if it's a new brand, I want to I want to hear about it not through BoxyCharm. I don't want that to be the place I started. And I would rather spend $35 on just one item that I've coveted, that I know that I want to try, and just go kind of all in on that. And then if I don't like that, return it, or, hopefully I bought it from a place where that has a good return policy. That's the kind of thing that like I would rather do with my money. And I'm saying BoxyCharm in particular because of the full sizes, but like I see people unbox Glossy Box and I'm like, who would buy this? Like, I just don't understand who would buy this. And again, I also feel like people who are very into skincare, I am very into skincare, personally, skincare is a very habitual purchase for me. Very rarely do I feel like my thing has stopped working and now I want to try another thing. But I know that's the case for some people. But like, very rarely am I like, oh, I want to try. Like, I probably buy a different moisturizer every time because I just am not picky about moisturizer. So I'll kind of grab whatever as far as moisturizers go. But like, there's a retinol that I like to buy. I'm going to buy that retinol. There's a vitamin C serum that I like a lot. I'm just going to continue to buy that vitamin C serum. So these box charms are sending you skincare. They don't know what your skin is like. And I understand there are some customizable options in here, but they're very likely not going to match you right if they're sending you a complexion product. That's something I've seen a lot. They don't know what your skincare is like. So I have oily skin, so I would want stuff that is formulated to work and perform for oily skin. But I might not always get that. So I never want to seem like I am coming off like, especially because on my channel, I like luxe makeup. I like luxury product for the most part. I mean, I'm not too snooty about it. Like, I will try drugstore stuff, but most of my collection that I've curated at this point is rather luxe. So I never want anyone to feel that I feel like makeup should only be that expensive, because that is not the truth. And I want makeup to be accessible. And so this is a really accessible way to get your hands on and try a lot of things. I just worry that the people who really like getting subscription boxes are doing it because they want a surplus, because they want to have a lot, because they want to seem like they have a lot, and they're not getting things that they're using, and they're not really thinking about it in such a way. Like, I only really want to bring products in that I want to use, that I'm going to use a lot, that that's what I want my collection to be like. And I definitely had a phase where I wanted a lot, and I have a lot, but like, there was a time where I was like, I'll have so many drawers of makeup behind me. No, that's not my dream. It's also not my dream for you, because even though it's at a lesser cost, if something sits around in your collection and expires and it doesn't perform as well by the time you get to it, you've still lost that money. Even though it's less money, it's still, you're losing. And I think these are things to consider. Again, this was meant to be a rant, and it was a rant. Like, I had been watching so much unboxing content from like subscription services. Everyone seems displeased overall, for the most part. And then I swear, like, once every 3 months or once every 6 months, there's like one box that everyone's so excited about that they get 100% right. I should just get that satisfaction by, buying a thing that I've always wanted. That's always been on my list. I'm going to get the same satisfaction out of buying that as opposed to waiting around. It's a bad partner. It's a bad partner. You're waiting for them to get it right, and you're investing time and energy into them. And then, like, on Valentine's Day every year, they do something very nice for you, but what are they doing for you the rest of the year? Think about it like that. That's where I'm going to leave my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it to the end of my little long rant, I appreciate you so much for watching. And if you liked the nuanced opinions from this nuanced baguette, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I'm a lot of fun. I don't know. Ask some people in the comments. I think I'm a lot of fun. We get a little crazy around here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked my voice and want to hear more of it, I appear on 3 podcasts. Those are all in my link tree just down below. So go ahead and click that. That's where you can follow me on Instagram too. It's in that link tree. That's where we're going to leave it. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Friends.